be in the world at a Trump rally, right? It's unpleasant to talk about it, but sometimes you have to think and talk about unpleasant things. But not only is it Biden and the embarrassment to the United States abroad, his radicalism and extremism is currently destroying our nation right here at home. And nobody understands that better than Alabama. Nobody. Remember when Biden used to go and say, like, he's in Iowa, and it'd say, it's great to be in Idaho. Sir, you're in Iowa. He would do this all the time. He was in New Hampshire. It's great to be in Maine today. Sir, you're in New Hampshire. The worst was when he was in New York, and he said, it's great to be in Florida. There were no palm trees. Great to be in Florida. He'd do that all the time. I've never done it yet. I've never done it. With all the speeches I've made, I was just saying because I said Alabama, but I know exactly. I didn't have to think about it. It's called Alabama. I love Alabama. I've always loved Alabama. And I've always said, if that ever happens, you can forget about the rest of the night because the speech is a total disaster. In other words, it's great to be in South Carolina with you people tonight. And I'd say, you know what? I'd say, if that ever happened, it's a disaster. You might as well just walk off the stage. Because you could be Winston Churchill, great speaker. You could be Winston Churchill, the great Winston Churchill, make an incredible rest of the speech, and it's a disaster. The only difference is, if you make a speech, if he does it, which he does all the time, different forms, the press doesn't cover it. He's the only guy that didn't get covered falling, walking up the stairs to ever. The press didn't cover it, other than a couple, internet covered it, I guess, right? But the press, do you think they would have covered it if I fell on the Air Force One? He fell 3 times. Down goes Frazier, remember that? Down. He kept going down and up, down and up. I said, what the hell's going on here? I was watching that. What's going on with our president? And it wasn't on one nightly newscast. I think I might have been on, I did the ramp, the long, slippery ramp. I said, General, it was pouring out, pouring. I said, General, this is a bad deal here. I got leather shoes on the bottom, and I'm going to fall. I'm not going to let them fall. I'm not. So I walked down tiny little steps. What's wrong with the president? The biggest story. I was so proud when I got down, I didn't fall. I said, General, I don't want to grab you, but I may have to grab you. Big, strong general, commandant of West Point. I made my best speech at West Point that day, but then it was pouring. And when I went down the ramp, and it was pure, it wasn't, normally they have like some little grooves, nothing. It was like an ice skating rink. I think it was a trap. And I said, General, this is not a good situation. That sucker looks slippery as hell, and I'm not going to allow them to take me falling. Remember Gerald Ford fell? That was not a good time. Some other bad things happen to presidents. Not a good time. You can't do that. You can't let that happen. So what happened is they made that a big story. I was so proud of myself. I made my best speech, and nobody talked about that speech. Someday, hopefully, they'll go back and get the speech I made at the graduation of West Point 2 years ago. I'd love you to hear that speech. I called up the First Lady. I said, First Lady, I just made a great speech. She said, you're on television for the way you went down a ramp. That's all they talked about. But with him falling down the stairs 3 times, he was down. No, he's up. No, he's down again. Oh, my God. No, he's up. He's down again. He's down for 3 times. If that were a fight, they'd stop it, right? If that were a fight, they would have stopped it, Mike. In a matter of mere months, Biden has thrown our southern border wide open. When I left